All right, what's up? Getting ready to go live with an Ask Me Anything about VeeFriends Series 2, VCon book games. Gary has been very active lately, dropping lots of hints about what's about to happen. So wanted to give an opportunity to the fam to see if they had questions. And also for people maybe who haven't seen these messages, wanted to bring those to light. We'll be talking about those, also answering any questions in the chat for the next hour or so. Hope to get a lot of folks in here joining us. I see you guys coming in already. Welcome. Going to be talking about all the things that Gary has brought to our attention lately, some more clarity on what is needed for VF2, also for the VCon burn sale, and then book games in general. A lot going on over the next month. I can't believe it's already March. So from March this month, get your book games while you can. VF2 drops early April. We're assuming that means the first or second week of April, and then VCon in May. So a lot happening. Thank you guys for joining. Wanted to give you a chance to ask questions. I know there's a lot going on. To start the stream, I'm going to kind of go over some of the messages that Gary has brought up lately. It's what is it, 5:30 in the afternoon here, so you might hear the kids screaming. Just ignore that in the background, and we'll see what we can do. So first thing I want to talk about is the frame question. Comes up all day, every day. What is needed for VF2? Remember, there are two paths to burning. If you watch my last video, we talked a lot about this. There are two paths to getting a VF2. The first one is you can burn. If you burn, you do not pay the ETH fee that is supposed to be less than 1,000. So there's the ETH fee and then gas. That's one way. The other way is burning book games tokens. And that's the only tokens that work. You can't burn any other NFTs. You can't burn VF1s. It is book games tokens. So if you don't have book games tokens, you need to get some. But you need to get specific ones. And what are those? Those are frames. There are 15 different types of frames in book games. We believe that correlates to the 15 new characters that are available in VeeFriends Series 2. So Gary has told us that you need 5 frames. 5 frames matter. People have been asking for clarity on this, some clarification. Somebody asked a question today. They said, "Hi, Gary, I have 7 book games trying to make 5 of the same frame. Do you advise," they spelled it wrong, but "do you advise wood frames?" And he said many combos can work. Again, we think that leads to each frame is going to match up to a different character, and there's guesses on what that is. But he clarified that. He said 5 of the same or any 7 if there's some left over, burn for new. So there's this one mechanic left that we still don't understand yet, and that is how the order of the mint will go. Gary has said that Patience Lava goes first. Patience is an attribute in book games. Lava is a background. That combinations of Patience and Lava gets to go first, and Wood burns second. Wood is a frame type. Wood burning second. So how is the order determined on who gets to burn? Is it you have a Patience Lava token in your collection, so you get moved to the front of the line, everybody who has one of those? Is it you have a Patience Lava token in your collection, but it also matches with 5, the frame on that token matches 4 other frames to give you 5 frames, and then you get to go first? We still don't know for sure exactly how that works, but we do know that it's going to be a race and that there will be an order in how it will work. So 5 of the same frame gets to burn for a new VF Series 2. Then if there's any left over, we suppose, if there's any left over from that, he's saying that any 7, presumably any 7 frames, to continue the antecedent of that statement, any 7 frames would get you the ability to burn. So you can burn 7 frames if they can be different, or 5 of the same. Again, we don't know how that order is going to be placed, but excuse me, with the demand that we see for VF2, there's 300,000 people in the VeeFriends chat, if that means anything to you. Certainly not all at the same time, but 300,000 people, currently 20,000 book game owners. In VF Series 1, there's only 10,555 of those. If we guess, and many of us have, on what the quantity of VF2 will be, the guesses range anywhere between 10 and 20,000. Gary was joking yesterday when he said maybe it's 100,000, and then he said he was kidding. or maybe he's not. So it could be that high. That would seem unlikely, right? Book Games has 125,000 tokens. VeeFriends Series 1 has 10,000, maybe somewhere in the middle. But with that demand, there may not be any left over. So a lot of people are grabbing 5 of the same frame. And you'll see that often if you go into the recently bought. A lot of times it's 4 or 5 tokens with the same frame in order. Obviously, the least rare frames, which is wood, clear, silver, those types of frames, many people have 5 of those. The more rare frames like champagne, neon, pearl, not so many people have those in their wallet. So the question then is, if you're racing other people, the frames match up to the characters, right? And a lot of people have 5 wood frames. Is that character going to have many opportunities? Are you going to be able to get out of the collection? Is there 1,000 that have that match up to the wood frame? And so your 5, you have a chance to race. What if there's only 100 that match up to that frame and 500 people have 5 wood frames in their collection? Certainly going to be a race there because only 100 can get it, not 500. So we're still waiting to hear the collection size, how the order works. The one thing we know for sure, 5 of the same frames is what you're going to need to burn. Now, the other path to getting a VF2 is the ability to go into what's called a raffle. Gary used that word. He still hasn't clarified a different word, so we're going to stick with raffle, where you're going to be able to use your tokens, and they will be randomly selected to be on the friends list or the white list if you want to have the opportunity to mint a new character. You will not get to choose which character you want. You will get a random character with a random rarity that goes with it. So you could get very lucky and get an extremely rare character with a rare background or frame, or however he chooses to put these together. And you could also be unlucky and not get any opportunities. So we're waiting to see, again, the mechanic of the order. The assumption that I have is that burns go first. If you have the opportunity to burn, you're going to get to go first. If you have a Patience Lava token, you might get to go first of the burns that are going first. And then following all the burning that's going on will be the raffle style. Then for everybody else who apparently doesn't watch these videos, you will have the chance for a public mint. I have stated out loud, I believe there will be no public mint. I think it'll all be secondary market, that everybody's going to get their tokens, and they're gonna eat up the entire supply. Could be wrong. If VF2 is very large, then maybe you don't get that, but it just seems like they're all gonna be taken up. So let's see. Hey, Brandon, how's it going, man? Rick, thank you guys for jumping in. Brandon's asked, what's your take on someone who may fall short of 5 frames before mint? Yeah, that's rough. The floor is rising. We've seen it go up. Recently, it's around 0.24 right now and some change. I expect it to continue rising, especially as more and more people hear about this. So if you don't have 5 frames, you're probably going to go the raffle route. And, one chance or 1 token is 1 chance. 4 tokens is 4 chances. And the going assumption is that you have a 1 in 5 chance of getting selected. Some people have put out statistics with guesses on what percentage might be applied to the tokens, whether that's a 10% chance per token or however. I think that's premature until we know for sure, but 125,000 tokens, 1 over 125,000 is a small decimal. So the more you have, the better chance you have, in my opinion. Get them while you can. How do you transfer your tokens to a ledger? Cody, that's a great question. I've considered making a video about that. That's not what this video is going to be about, but there are some videos out there where you can watch how to set up your ledger, and then it's going to be pretty step-by-step from there. So maybe in the future, I'll get to that and kind of talk through it, or maybe afterward we can discuss on Discord or something like that. I'll try to help you out. Any news on the conviction with Rainbow Frames, the dude? I haven't heard anything about that yet, dude. So more to come, I guess, on there. Convictions had been falling. I saw them go down to almost 1 ETH. I think it was 1.0 something, and now they're back up to like 1.2. So maybe the decline of that has kind of tapered off, but we'll see as we go forward. I want to read some more of these messages from Gary because it does give a good insight and maybe some stuff people missed earlier if you're not in the Discord. He was in there at 7:30 this morning. Even I missed most of it. Gary, we got to sleep sometime, man. Give us a schedule. So someone asked, do I sweep the floor for more raffle tickets to mint V2 or go for 5+ of one frame set? So again, 5+ with a frame set would give you the chance to burn. Sweeping the floor would give you a better chance at winning a raffle spot to whitelist, where you would pay the ETH, you wouldn't burn your tokens. So they asked, which one do I do? Do I go for more of the raffle by sweeping the floor, or do I get 5 frames? And Gary said the second one. So he believes that burning the tokens, using 5 of the same frame to get your new VF2 character is the way to go. Again, waiting on the mechanics of how the order takes place. But if Gary is suggesting that, he may be kind of letting us know implicitly that the order is going to favor burning the tokens first to get the VF2 characters. Someone said, I have 4 VF1s and over 50 book games. That is what we call a whale. What are my odds for new VF2 characters or multiple VF2 characters? And he said, very, 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 very high. And I would agree. That's a really good chance of getting that. Probably more so because you have the VF1s. Gary's giving them a special opportunity that he hasn't revealed yet. But 50 book games tokens is, you're going to have a good shot. Man, I can't imagine having 50 and then not getting selected. That would be crazy. And then I also can't imagine having 50 and not having a set of 5 frames. Is that even possible? I guess it is. 15 times 5 is 75. So you'd have to have 75 to guarantee a set there. Gary, 2 book tokens. How do you feel about it? So he said, so Brandon, maybe this answers your question. He said, it's amazing that you have book games tokens. It's better than tons of people out there, but luck will need to be on your side. So getting selected for the whitelist with only 2, he said, luck's going to need to be on your side. What about 4 frames? Not the same. So Gary had said earlier, Bob, and at the beginning of this video, I kind of talked about that. He said 5 of the same frames or 7 of any kind when it's kind of left over, right? After the people that burn their 5. So we're still trying to understand the order and how the mechanic works for the burn process. But Gary kind of gives a hint that people who will be able to burn with the 5 frames get to go first. And then if there's some left over, then people with 7 of any type of frame will be able to go. But 4 of any type of frame doesn't seem to be what you need to burn for new character. You probably have to go to the whitelist raffle for that one. Bruno, as burning continues beyond the VF2 launch in years to come, what do you hope to see? I hope to see the floor continue to rise, the tokens that I'm holding with diamond hands to go up, because the scarcity will continue to increase. The more that gets burned, the fewer there are. So some of the tokens that are pretty common right now, people could look at those and say, oh, there's tons of these. These aren't worth anything. Let's go ahead and burn them. And then as time goes on, they become actually very rare because there's not many of them. So what was created at the beginning of this process in January when the tokens dropped, that's established kind of a baseline rarity, but a lot of that's changed, right? There are some extremely rare tokens that have become rare because people have burned them. And I don't know for the life of me why they would, unless they were exchanging on the exchange for something good. So we know that there have been 13 gratitudes and 13 convictions that have been burned already. And those were for the Just Art bundles. And there may be even a couple more. I'll have to go back and look, but very surprised for people to see that. But, you know, that's their investment choice. That's what they think is going to benefit them in the long run. Speaking of investments, I think I'm supposed to say this every video, so I do. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. This is not financial advice. I'm giving you insight into what I see and the way I think the game is going to work. But please do your own research. Do not spend money you can't afford to lose. All of this could go to 0, and then we're all doing something else next week. Who knows? Bob asked, Bob, do you have to burn your book games tokens for VF2? So Bob, I would recommend you watch my last video. I talk explicitly about this. There are 2 ways to do it, whether you burn your tokens or whether you go for a raffle. If you go for the raffle, you have to get lucky to be selected to mint. You'll pay 1,000 in ETH and gas fees, but you do not have to burn your tokens. So if you only have 4 tokens, there's a chance for you. You need to be lucky, but you would not have to burn your tokens. I'm hoping to not have to burn my tokens. There's some that I really like that I don't plan to burn at all. So we'll see how that goes. Did I catch the message where he said, very nice and smart? It was deleted. I did see it, Derek. I don't know if I have it in my list here. I'll have to scroll through and see, but I remember him saying that. I don't remember what he was saying it to. So I'll have to check and see what I have here. I tried to copy all of them so I could come back and do this video with you guys and answer questions. Let's see. Someone asked, 5 gold frames with random characters and backgrounds going to make it. He said, if you want a new character and you want to burn away and you move super fast. So this is something that a lot of people are asking about. When we were going for VCon tickets, you have to have 13, which is one of each attribute with the same background. So the same lava background, the same bubblegum, the same gold. So people have started to apply that logic to this burn sale, saying Gary has said 5 frames, but they're saying, well, maybe it needs to be 5 of the same background. I think that this statement dispels that theory, where someone said, can I have random backgrounds and characters? And he said, if you want a new character and you want to burn and you move super fast, to me, that means yes, they can be random backgrounds. It's just about the frames. He has said 5 frames multiple times this week even. And to me, that means that it's just the frames, not the backgrounds, not the attributes. Let's see. Can I please get a chance on VF2? I don't have more funds to afford book games. And he said, yes, there will be an open mint. So there's another question outstanding for Gary that we try to ask him all the time, which is, are you holding a reserve for a public mint? If Gary releases all VF2s in this burn or this raffle, the demand for people who have book games tokens is extremely high. And we think that the general folks in the Discord that we chat with all the time, that they will eat them all up, right? They'll all be gone and there won't be any for public mint. To me, the only way there will be a public mint is if, let's say there's 25,000 in the collection, Gary holds back 5 or 10,000 and says this will be specifically for a public mint. He has the right to do that. He could do that. To me, that's the only way it makes it to the public, is if he does that. And he says here, there will be an open mint. I don't know if he's guaranteeing that, but it would be interesting to see how that works. It wasn't about book games. Somebody asked what he thought of Mr. Beast. Very nice and smart. Really? I didn't see that though, David. So if somebody asked about Mr. Beast and he responded very nice and smart, I don't know. But I love Mr. Beast. I think he's amazing. Derek De Silva, they ask how Mr. Beast was in real life. Okay, so that's true. Do you think the burn for new VF2 happens before the raffle for non-new VF2? If so, certainly reduces the number of book games in the raffle. Yes, I do, actually. I don't remember who I asked this question to, but it might have been Jeremy Knows. Shout out to Jeremy for all his work in this area. I do believe that the burn will happen first. All those tokens will be removed from the raffle. And the rest of the tokens that people have will be considered for the whitelist. Another question that came up today, and I'm sure I have it here, is let's say my token gets selected for a whitelist. Can I just go ahead and sell that token? The thought is that that is going to be the whitelist spot will be somehow attributed to that token. So if you sell that token, you're selling your whitelist spot. So I would hold on to that until you are sure that you have a VF2 in your wallet already and it's been confirmed. Don't trade away the token that gets selected for a whitelist spot. If you need money for that, try to find a different way. Hopefully you can find a different way. Or let's say you get selected, you have 2 tokens selected for a whitelist spot. You could probably get a premium on one of those if you need to sell it, more so than just the token itself, the token rarity itself, and then mint the other one. So that's always a possibility. All right, let's look back at Gary's messages here. He says, any luck VF2 is a PFP? And he says, maybe. That didn't really tell us anything. Under $1,000, we knew that when converted. Somebody is asking how much is the mint price going to be under $1,000 when converted for Series 2. So it doesn't matter what Ethereum goes up or down to. He will set the price to be under $1,000 US dollars. Book Games tokens is what you want if you want Series 2 opportunity to buy for under $1,000 US dollars. Yes, we got that. Let's see. Can we sell the Book Games tokens after we've been whitelisted to fund the purchase of a VF2? So what I just said there, he said you can, but it will be clear that the friends list spots aren't available. So either he's saying here that if you sell it, you're selling away your friends list spot, or he's saying that if you sell it, you will not, whoever buys it will not be able to get that whitelist spot. It's unclear. We're still waiting on that, but that's an interesting thought because a lot of people are hoping to get their whitelist and then sell the junk tokens that they've been storing up. Maybe they swept the floor to get more spots. We're going to sell all these tokens, including the one that was selected, and then get the ETH that we need to mint. Still remains to be seen how exactly they're going to tag that token and say, this was the token that got you the spot, hold on to that, or however they're going to say it. So we'll see. If you have more than one VF1, are you able to buy more than one VF2? And Gary Vee said, you'll see, you'll be very happy. So this is a question I've asked him multiple times, still haven't had a response. Originally, we thought that we were going to be able to mint more than one, that you didn't need multiple wallets. You can mint as many as you wanted to, but there's still some confusion about this. For VF1, it is quite possible that those who have a VF1 will get maybe a special bite at the apple, which he has said they're going to get to mint the most important NFT, whichever that is. But this leads me to believe that VF1 might have an additional opportunity that book games holders may not have. Now, I still think they'll need book games tokens, but it might give them access to a way to mint maybe more than one. Still waiting to see full confirmation that we're going to be able to mint more than one. Give me just 1 second. It's lemonade, well, Crystal Light. Let's see. So does 5 of the same frame guarantee a whitelist spot? Or is that just for minting one of the 15 new characters? Good question, Brandon. It is for minting one of the new characters. 5 of the same frame does not guarantee a whitelist spot. In fact, you're getting 5 of the same frames to avoid having to go to the raffle. If you have 5 of the same frames, you're going to burn as opposed to waiting for a raffle spot. And if you burn, those 5 are gone. So if you have just 5 tokens in your collection, you burn 5 for a new character, you have 0 left over to get a whitelist spot. So it's, some people would think, well, I want more whitelist chances. Maybe, but by getting a special character, you're able to pick and choose the rarity. To me, as I've said, I think the frames match up to the new characters. I think more rare your frame, it just makes sense that the more rare your character would be. You're paying a lot more for those rare frames. Imagine burning 5 champagne frames. You would expect to have a very rare VF2. But once you burn those tokens, you are removing them from consideration for the whitelist, is my understanding. So that seems to be the order according to what we have seen. If you were paid if you were a paid book games consultant, would you recommend your clients have a patience lava in their frame of choice? I answered this in my video, my last video, Scott, that I think was on Tuesday, maybe Monday night. I said, we don't know the order. We know patience lava goes first. We don't know if that's required to be have the same frame as one of the 5 that you're using to burn, but it can't hurt. So if you have it that way, I think that would not be a bad thing. So it certainly, we haven't heard for certain that you have to have it, but if you did make that choice, paid a little bit more for that patience lava right now, I think it was a little over 0.4 for any type of patience lava right now, which is a dramatic decrease from when he first announced it. It went up to 0.8. But if you have that, it can't hurt you to have that background attribute, because we know background attribute doesn't necessarily matter in the 5, but we do know that patience lava goes first. So however that mechanic works, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, having both. I'm assuming you guys can hear me just fine. I'm not using my normal headset. I had problems with that in the past. So lots of questions coming in. I hope this is all being recorded and heard. That would be terrible otherwise. So to confirm, you need 5 of the same frame to mint VF2. You need 5 of the same frame if you're going to burn for a new character. If you're not going to burn for a new character, you can have any token and hopefully get selected for the raffle that gets you on the whitelist. And then you can pay. You don't have to burn them. You can pay to mint a VF2, but none of the new 15 characters. Do other attributes matter for the same frame? No, Steve, we just answered this. The attributes and the backgrounds do not matter. Gary said that today. So they don't necessarily matter. All right, Gary's running around in the Discord. Let me jump over there and see. That cowboy is wow. Thanks, Gary. I don't know. That doesn't help me any. Haven't heard anything about this, but I could see Gary surprising VeeFriend mini drops holders with some kind of VF2 advantage. Maybe not the same as VF1 hold, but maybe something. Absolutely, certainly could. Gift Goat, maybe it's a Gift Goat gift coming. Could be the case. He is plugging the VF1s right now. Thanks for the answer to this. Coming working overtime in March 5. Why not take a guaranteed spot? Agreed. A lot of folks are. That's why we're seeing the floor rising. Guess on what the burn for VCon ticket will be on Friday. So I may have said this previously. If you can go right now to the exchange and burn 13 tokens, they all have to have the same background, one of the same attributes, and get you a VCon ticket. To me, a sale would be less than that. Now, Gary may think a sale is 10, or he may say you don't have to have a conviction and a gratitude, which are the most expensive of the attributes. He may say 7, he may say 5. I had someone tell me today he may say 1. And I was like, 1? No way. No way he'd do 1. He said it would guarantee a sold out conference, which is true. And if it's 1, that would be amazing. And I might try to buy more than 1 ticket and then resell it. So that would be a very interesting thing. But we don't know yet on what it's going to be. But he did say it would be this week. So possibly I would keep our eyes open for tomorrow or Friday to be the case for that. Let's jump over to more Gary messages from today. Any Gift Goat news? He said it's the best NFT in the world. Okay. Could be doing something with that. He's already provided value and utility with that, with the Gift Goat, and with a lot more to come. So how that plays into VF2, we haven't seen anything on that yet, but would be very interesting if he did something there. Any idea where you and the team will be able to drop the schedule for speakers at VeeCon? He said several weeks from now, so leading up to that. Remember, VeeCon's May 19th is when it starts, first ever VeeCon. So there's still some time for them to drop the schedule and all the details about that. Let's see. I want to keep track too. So I'm giving you stuff that Gary gave us this morning, but Gary is also in the chat right now. So let's do some live of this. I wish you could see my screen. Still hadn't figured that out yet. So if somebody knows how to live stream YouTube on my screen, that'd be amazing. I know how to do it after the fact if I'm recording, but not to live stream. Everyone's liquidity on book games at the moment, and he said makes sense. It's going to be insane. That's awesome. All right, just a couple more things from this morning to keep up with. Will a guy that has 13 book games but not enough money for a VF1 be happy? And he said if Lady Luck does right by him. So I think he's referring to the raffle again here. Series 1 will always be taken care of and will always be my focus. He has said that many times, that VF1 is the holy grail, is what he cares about the most and how he will deliver value. He said he'll shut down Vayner, his company, Vayner, before he lets VF1 fall apart, which is a pretty serious statement, I think. Let's see. What's my strategy for minting V2? So, guys, I'm not a whale. I'm just a regular guy trying to make these videos because it's fun. I enjoy interacting with you, but my strategy might be different than yours. So please just, when I say my strategy, understand where I'm at versus where you're at may be completely different. I'm looking to go to VCon first and foremost. I think it will be the most beneficial for what I'm trying to do here with YouTube and what I'm trying to accomplish overall with book games. I have tokens. I love buying the tokens. Wish I had more ETH to buy more. But as much as that's important to me, it's also important for me to bring quality information to you. I think going to VCon would allow me to do that. So VCon is very important for me in that sense. I do not have a VF1. I'm looking for a ticket to go. So this burn sale is more important to me right now than necessarily VF2. Now I have anywhere between 5 and 10 tokens at any given time. What is this garbage? Bro, get out of here. Somebody's spamming the chat. So we're going to get rid of that person. And let's see. All right, sorry guys. I'm gonna get this out of here. Timed out. All right, so sorry about that. Seems like people trying to have fun there. So for me, I've got to hope that the VCon burn sale is well enough that I can actually take advantage of that. If it's 1, that would be amazing, because I really don't want to burn all my book games tokens. But if it's 5, I'll still probably do that, which would set me in a situation where I need to make a decision on VF2 whether I want to burn or just go to raffle. I certainly want to get a VF2. I would love to burn for a new character. I do have 5 of the same frame intentionally for that purpose, and would love to do that. But VCon is my priority right now, then VF2, with the intent of one day getting to a VF1, hopefully like many of you, right? Hey, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. Any way of getting VF2 without book tokens? Raul, no. The answer to that is no. Book games is the key to VF2. Maybe after VF2 mints and somebody sells it on the aftermarket, maybe you can get it that way. But if you want to mint one, you need book games tokens. And rewatch this live stream after the fact. You'll be able to understand that, or go look at my last video. It's actually in the description of this one when this one posts. So you can understand exactly how to use those book game tokens. But there's 2 paths to get there. Both paths require book games tokens. The floor is really low right now. It's at 0.24. Now's the time to get it before more people hear about this and try to go and get tons of tokens and raise that floor. All right, a couple more things from Gary here from today. Which blockchain is VF2 on? It's on the Ethereum. So people have asked, is it layer 1, layer 2? It's on layer 1. It will be Ethereum. There will be gas to mint. That's just how it is. And so that will be the case. Pay attention to that, those gas fees. Again, if you're doing the whitelist, you do get 12.5 days to mint. Gary's trying to mitigate the gas fees. I have found when I buy tokens or move money from layer 1 to layer 2, if I do it late at night or early in the morning, my time, and I'm on Eastern time, it's cheap, like $10. So if you're doing it middle of the day or when there's a big event going on, some other product is dropping, you're going to be paying high gas fees. Obviously, VF2 is going to be a lot of demand and very exciting. There will be gas fees, but if you can wait until the off hours, you may have a chance. However, if it's a race, what do you do? So there's a balance there. Make sure you have enough Ethereum to be able to get what you want. So here's something I thought was very interesting that Gary said today. He said, will Series 2 have any special utilities? Now, we have felt that Series 2 would not have any utilities. Gary has said that previously, no utility. But here he said it has a card up its sleeve. I don't know if that's a reference to anything or if it's just his turn of phrase to say that, there's an ace in the hole. There's something there that it will be able to do utility-wise. So that's kind of a new alpha for us that we didn't necessarily know ahead of time. We thought there was no utility. But again, at any time, Gary can add utility anytime he wants. He said it before that right now a VF1 gets you 3 tickets to VCon for 3 years. But he's also said on podcast that if he wanted to add 3 more years, he certainly could. He's allowed to do whatever he wants in perpetuity. He can add value. So just be aware that it can change. Great question. Somebody asked, will there be a way to meet the speakers, or are they just going to speak and perform? And he said, many speakers are going to stick around and sit in the crowd and listen. Can you imagine going to VCon and Snoop, gets up on stage and performs and speaks, and then he comes, sits down right next to you? Like, what would you do? So there's tons of speakers, a lot of amazing people that are going to be there. Anybody in the NFT space right now, and the opportunity to kind of mingle and talk. Gary makes himself extremely accessible. The people that have paid to go to VeeCon have paid a lot of money, presumably, to be there. And I assume he's going to make himself accessible, and probably his friends and the speakers to be there. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for being here. Guys, if you want, it would really help me if you would share this live stream right now. That would get more questions. Maybe there's people that have questions that we'll ask them that you didn't think to ask. But, if you would share that, it'd be great. So question that someone it's also a big character and diamond. Maybe he's talking about the cowboy. So that didn't have any reference to it, but he said it's also a big character and diamond. And then chances on VF2 with 5 book games, very good. So Gary's answering questions right now. If you have a question you'd like me to ask, if you're not in the Discord, post it here and I'll post it and we'll see. Otherwise, you guys post those questions. Tell us the secret sauce behind Pony. Everybody wants to know about Paper Hands Pony. Tell us the secret sauce behind that. He says, everyone who sells it will pay. Don't sell your ponies. If you got a pony, like, that's serious. I've already told people my theory on koala. Go back and watch my videos and you can see that. Gary has said that will have value in 2025. I think that's a special year, a special time. Hey, our friend's back. All right, put him back in timeout. All right. So a lot of this stuff that has come through today from Gary. Do VCon tickets and Series 2 have a connection? He said no. We know that VF1 and VCon tickets have a connection. As I just said, you get 3 years, but VF2 does not. Although he is offering a burn sale opportunity for people to get VCon tickets. So we've talked about that. What other questions do you guys have for me? If you get to meet Gary, what would you say? That's funny. My wife asked me the same question. I don't know what I would say. I don't know that I'm ready to meet Gary. Obviously, I would love to meet the guy. I think that people, when they meet him, ask him, rightfully so, and I'm not judging on this, people ask him to give him a shout out or connect him to other people. He's really good at that, and he's willing to do that, which I think is amazing. But I don't know, right? I'm pretty content with where I'm at. Obviously, I would love for Gary to shout out my YouTube channel, right? Maybe, but you know, I don't make any money on my YouTubes. This is just for fun. It's not monetized in any way, so I don't know that would do anything. I really just want to help you guys and myself. So doing the research to understand the investments and all that, and then I put it in a video because it just makes sense. Why not share some of that information? It's just going to help everybody. Rising tide lifts all boats in that sense. So I'd probably just say thanks for all his videos. I've been following Gary for a long time, and I really appreciate the way he carries himself and presents himself. You don't hear a lot of people talking about strategy. When you look at the financial blogs out there, or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, there are a lot of people who are not as kind as Gary in the way that they present that, and they make it a zero-sum game. Like, they have to win and everybody else has to lose. And I like the way Gary presents that. So, probably just thank him for what he's doing, encouraging him. How many people give back to Gary and say, we appreciate you, and we just want to encourage you that you continue to do what you do. We've got your back. We're on your team, as opposed to trying to get him on our team so much. So he doesn't need us. But, if we are a fam that we say we are, maybe we could act like that in spite of what someone can do for us. Weird concept, I know, right? So we'll see. Don't know that's going to happen, but we'll see if I get to meet him. I hate to do this to you, but when is the mint? Do we have timetable on the VCon mint? Okay, so VCon mint is not a thing, right? There's a VCon flash sale. I see you corrected VF2 mint. So there's a VCon flash sale coming up this week. You can already go to the exchange and buy your VCon tickets, or you can buy a VF1 and you get a VCon ticket. He said those probably aren't going to drop for a few weeks of when people who have VF1s can get their ticket. Let's see. I want to pause for just a second because I want to see if Gary has said anything else. I don't want to miss anything, give you up-to-date info. Someone asked us, Spectacular Rarity have any play in VF2? He said maybe. I think that is in reference to VF2 backgrounds, not book games backgrounds. And then one more. I'm giving you real-time stuff here. Can I get a hug if I ever see you in person? Yes. All right, J-Mac. I see you, bro. The VF2 mint is in early April. So watch this video back. Watch my last video if you want more information on the VF2 mint, Matt. I've talked about it at length here. 5 of the same frame. The raffle route. Yes, but the raffle route, you're not guaranteed, Steve. So I agree with you. And you can't get the new characters. So if you want the new characters, which we assume is going to be a very sought after thing in high demand, the VF1 floor, I think, is up to 14 now. I haven't looked at it today, but it's pretty high. And VF2, we expect to be fairly high as well, but certainly the new characters and the extra rare ones would be higher than that. So if you go for the mint, yes, it is cheaper, so to say, but maybe you don't receive as much value from that in the long run. Is Pearl still underrated in your mind? If not, what's the new underrated frame? Great question. I was just looking at this today, considering what other set of 5 that I might buy. Rainbow is at 30.36, Pearl's at 0.45, Fur at 0.30, Galaxy 0.32, Emerald at 0.44. So you have Emerald and Pearl at about the same value. To me, that says Pearl is a little bit underrated because Emerald is obviously less rare than Pearl. So I think it kind of is 0.45. I'd probably like to see it closer to 0.5 or above, with Neon sitting at above 0.6 right now. You might look at Rainbow because it's not much more expensive than the Fur Galaxy. So the last time I checked that, those frames may be the best opportunity. If you're just wanting 5 frames, you obviously can get some on the floor, some clear, some silvers are down there. That would be the way to go. But if you're looking for something a little more rare, maybe check out Rainbow or Pearl. When's the Flash Mint? We think the Flash Mint is this week. Gary sent out a video. I put it in my last video at the very end. I put his video in my last YouTube video at the very end. You can watch that where he says the flash sale is coming this week. Yeah, $1,900 price difference for sure. But that's, if you think $1,900 price difference, what's that, 0.6 ETH? What if VF2 new character jumps up 2 or 3 ETH? So, and the other characters don't. So that's a, $6,000 to $10,000 price difference there. Okay, thanks, Matt. 13 ETH for the VF1 floor right now. Just want to check in. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. I love doing this. It's a lot easier for me than having to edit and clip all that stuff. But with Gary bringing info so fast this week, there's a lot going on. I said it to someone in a previous chat. Maybe it was on it was on the Twitter space that I did with Jeremy Nose and Ryan Kai, that Gary is very excitable. And when he has a meeting that gives him information about exactly how things are going to work, he really struggles to hold that in. So there was a time where he said, having a great meeting, this is amazing. That night he came in the chat and just dropped a ton of alpha. Like, I really think he can't hold it in. So you saw in that video where he announced the flash sale, he almost gave it away, the mechanics of how it was going to work. And he caught himself and he was laughing about that. So I just think that he's going to continue giving us tons of information as he gets it. And I think it's fresh and very, very new. So if he's saying stuff today like he has been this week, he probably heard it this week or they decided this week. And as it becomes available, he lets us know very, very quickly. So that's why you get this live. I'm just trying to keep you up to date on this time-sensitive information. Make sure you have the most up-to-date information and can make a good decision. Get stuff hopefully before everybody else goes back and reads it later. I have 2 book games tokens. Should I buy more? Paolo, that's up to you. Depends on your strategy. 2 is better than 1, which is better than 0. But the more you have, the more chances you get at the whitelist opportunity to mint. If you have 5 of the same frames, you can do a burn for a new character. So it just depends on what you want out of this. But 2 is great. You're also welcome to hold. We do believe that book games is going to be a great long-term investment. When we say long-term, we're talking years, not days. So patience is key for this. Will I finish painting my room? Thanks, Mark. So check this out, man. My wife is doing all this. She's building me a desk. I'm sitting at a table in the middle of my office, and she's building all of this. And she had to paint that because she built the bookshelves into the wall and painted them as well. And she wouldn't be able to get back to the back of the wall to paint it. So it's stuck like that for now. In fact, I said, can I go do a live stream? She said, I'd really like to get in there and paint the room. I said, please let me live stream first. This is very time sensitive. I want people to have this info. So yes, we're getting to that. Sorry. That's a great question. Thoughts on patient lava? Matt, I said that earlier. It wouldn't hurt to have a patient's lava in your set of 5. He hasn't said that, and we don't know the mechanics of how that's going to work on how that goes first, but he did say patient's lava burns first. So whether you have to have just 1 in your collection or it has to be one of the 5 frames that you're going to use to burn, we don't know, but it can't hurt. So if you have the opportunity to buy one, let's say you're getting black frames, get a patient's lava with a black frame too. maybe that could be an advantage. We just don't know. What VF1 could you grab if you could? Any that I could get my hands on, probably at the floor, because that's a lot of money. So I would take whatever I could. There are some that I would like. I think I would like the Angel. I think that's really cool. I'm pretty sure there's an Alpha Alligator. Is that one of the ones? I haven't looked as much into VF1 as I should, but that would be interesting. I think the advantage of that would be pretty wild. Like, what if you could get Alpha before everybody else? Obviously, something I would be very interested in for this channel. Yes, Mrs. Busy is crushing it. My wife's incredible. What tokens do I have? Yeah, so I've got a few. The one that I show everybody is my Humility Gold Neon. There's only 17 of those. I actually found that while doing research for my channel. And it was such a good deal that I was like, this is a great deal. I should tell everybody. And then I was like, wait, I should buy that. So I did. And that is the token that I'm most proud of. The rest are just kind of around the floor. I have, I think, a marble frame. I've got the neon frame. I can't remember what else. I'd have to look. Give me a second here. I've got a pearl. I've obviously got some pearls. And then my 5 are in black. So I'm one of those 250 people that have in black frames. So we'll see how that works. Yes, we're all grinding to VF1. That is the goal. I hope that one day I get to the point where that amount of money going into an investment like this makes great sense for me. As an investor, I'm not the ape-in kind of investor. I'm the take it slow, realize that there are people who have different strategies and different amounts of money to play with. And I have to balance my FOMO that we all have from watching all this alpha from Gary come through and get all excited. I want to make sure that I continue to play my strategy my way. That's going to be the best for me and my family. That's hard to do because obviously I want to be involved. I love this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, we should get this. But you got to be smart. Please be smart with your money. All right. So that's the alpha that I have that I've seen. I've gone through my list here. Let me make sure I covered everything from this. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. So again, the most important thing, 5 frames of the same frame. Backgrounds and attributes don't matter if you're burning. So I think that's probably the most important thing that we've said today. If you have some more questions, drop them in real quick and we'll get them in before we close this out. Any other NFT projects that you're involved in? No, I'm not. I keep tabs on other projects, but I am not invested in them. I don't know them. I don't know the founders. Everybody says do your own research. They talk about the founders, and I'm sure there are some great projects out there. But I've been following Gary Vee for years, and I've said this publicly that I believe if Gary Vee were to try to do a rug pull or just walk away and forget about us, his IRL businesses would suffer. And I just don't think that's the kind of person that he is. And so I don't mind investing money that I'm willing to lose, but I am not invested in other NFT projects. So this is what I feel comfortable with and what I'm enjoying and making my videos about. And honestly, I don't have time to research those other projects to the depth that I would want to, the way I've done book games. So I'm going to stay with book games for as long as possible, 40 or 50 years. If I get the 5, excuse me, guys, I can't get rid of this cough. If I get 5 same wood frames, how much would it cost? And if I burn 5, would I get to mint VF2? 5 wood frames right now is going to cost you about 1.25 ETH. That seems to be around the floor level, maybe a little bit more. And if you burn 5, you would mint with those if you win the race. There's going to be a race. The assumption is there's only going to be a limited quantity. So whoever gets to burn, you can burn your wood. Wood goes second after patient lava. So it would seem that you would have a good shot for that. If you burn those 5 tokens and get a new VF2 character, you do not have to pay gas. So that will save you that. And you'd be paying roughly about 1.25 ETH. Some people got their wood for a lot less than that throughout the project. Hey, thank you guys all for being here. I really hate cutting this off, especially as we continue to have people join. I would say a lot of what I have said today, some of those answers were in my last video that dropped this week. Please go back and see that. A like, subscribe, hit your notification bell. A lot of you saw this because you had your notification bell on. If you don't have it on, turn it on, because Gary comes into the chat. I try to get you the info as fast as possible. So you need to be aware when I go live. And also come into Discord. Ask us anytime. You can find me on Twitter, BusyNFT23. On my YouTube channel, you can search BusyNFT and see me there, or on Discord, same thing. Would love to chat with you guys anytime. Really appreciate you being here. You know what I got to say, Web3 is the future. Book games is forever. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.